Hi everybody, it's time for the Purge. Getting rid of, how many? 13 games? I guess you could kind of call it 18 if we're being, depending how flexible we are. I gotta clear some room off my shelves, and so that means some games have to go. And honestly, I could probably be a little bit more cutthroat. I'm not gonna right now, because, well, I don't want to. But these are some games. The games that are leaving my collection are games that I've played and I either bounced off and, well, don't worry, bounce off is not going. No, I still might have my 2 copies. But I don't think these are going to get played again. And there's a couple that I don't think are going to get played at all. And I'll express my reasons for those as well. There's a couple that I haven't yet played. Again, remnants from that big bundle deal of games that I thought were great and never got to the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this big bundle deal up on the Toronto Board Game Swap, and somebody can take it. And we'll price it to sell. So let's start. Let's start with the stuff that's poking out in frame. No apparent order. I'm going to get rid of Age of Wonders Planetfall. And this is a tough one because I think at 6 players, I think this does... Oh, well, there's all the dust on it. Not a tough one anymore. I think at 6 players... I think that does something pretty interesting. At 2 players, it's horrible, right? I think this is a 6-player game, a 6-player only game. Maybe 5 players is okay. But it's a fun drafting game. 7 Wonders style, interesting combinations that can happen. The thing is, recently I had a board game weekend with some friends, and a lot of the time there were 6 of us, and we kept on thinking about, oh, what are the 6-player games that we can play? And I thought of Age of Wonders Planetfall, and I never suggested it. And so for that purpose, I'm like, okay, if I've been keeping it around for 6 players only, which I think it's good at 6 players, but then I didn't suggest it in that time period, maybe it's not for me, right? If the perfect time happens and it passes by, then I don't think it's necessarily for me. So this one's on the chopping block, and I grabbed it and I was like, you know what? Let's get it gone. Let's get it gone. Free up the space on the shelf. Oh, that's one I'm getting rid of. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that. I knew there was something else. Let's keep on getting rid of stuff that I've reviewed. Next we have the Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game. This is The Crew Mount Doom. That's a title that I came up with myself and only me. And it's just fine. I mean, I've gotten rid of the crew, so there's no reason why I should keep the Crew Mount Doom. I enjoyed playing through it once. I thought it was mildly entertaining. And I think Age of Wonders Planetfall is a better game for sure. And so I'm going to pass it on to somebody who might enjoy it. Again, great quality components, good cardstock, really well done production-wise. If you like The Crew and you wanted a Lord of the Rings themed The Crew, yeah, check it out for sure. Otherwise, meh, it didn't really tickle my fancy. That one's going. I'm getting rid of a couple Dice Throne sets, and really that's just because my friend Reed doesn't have Dice Throne. And he was like, oh, I like Dice Throne, I don't have any. Let me know if you're getting rid of any Dice Throne. And so I looked at my Dice Throne characters, and I have 16 of them. And I thought, I don't need 16 characters. And so I'm going to give these to Reed. So Reed, but I'm only giving it to Reed if you watch. Because I know he watches these videos sometimes. So Reed, if you don't watch this, then they're going to stay on my shelf. But if you do watch this video, then you're going to get this. Then you're going to get them. I guess I better put this out sooner than later before I leave for the Maritimes. Anyway. And the reason why is because I have a lot of Dice Throne characters. I like the Season 1 characters. I'm keeping my favorite characters. These all sort of fall mid-tier for me. Mid-tier Dice Throne characters are still good Dice Throne characters. People really like Black Widow. They were offended by my placement of Black Widow on the ranking. So Black Widow and Doctor Strange give a little bit more complexity. And then Captain Marvel and Black Panther give a little... They're simpler. This is sort of the basic pack if you're looking for just like a basic Marvel entry pack. This is the way to go. And you know what? I play Dice Throne enough, but I don't need all these characters. So Reed, you can have them, and I can spread the love. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, let's talk about this one. Fire and Axe is one that, again, I got in that bundle deal. I guess I should be showing the back covers. Hey, I do have the top-down camera set up. Might as well show things for a reason. Fire and Axe is sort of a route-building game, I think. I was excited to play this, and I still would be excited to play this, and maybe I'll regret getting rid of it. There's a potential I'll regret getting rid of it, but honestly, I'll just play it sometime and then be happy with it. Well, I'm happy it's going to somebody else. This was on Sam Healy's top 10 for a long time. That's what made it stand out to me. I like the theme of Vikings. I like the sort of route planning, area control that you're doing in it. I think it looks pretty neat. But again, I haven't gotten it to the table. I haven't played it. I'm not playing it. Just enough. Enough is enough. I gotta be honest with myself. Do I have the time for this? Absolutely not. I'm not interested. If I was interested, I would have played it within the last 5 years. You know, there's a statute of limitations for these sorts of things, and that statute is now. They've got to go. They gotta go away. So yeah, Fire and Axe. This is tough. It's really tough because like pulling it out is one of those games where you pull it out and you think, oh well, maybe I should work on this. Maybe I should do it, but I'm not gonna. I want to make it a nice package for somebody, and I think people will enjoy playing it. Next up, we have a little solo game, but there's a lot of value here. There's a lot of value on this auction sign. I'm getting rid of my 20 strong set.
I'm not quite sure who is that.
You don't talk to me. I'm not talking to you. 20 strong is fun. I have a video review on 20 strong as a solo gamer, as a non-solo gamer. You know, you have your sets. My favorite set is Hoplomachus Victorum, which is why I'm keeping it in the main box. You have these dice. You're going to take them all out. They don't even smell that stinky anymore. And you can choose how many dice to roll in terms of checks that you're doing against each separate deck. And then you get to refresh some and throw some away each time. I think Hoplomachus Victorum is pretty fun because you build out this pyramid, essentially. Too Many Bones was fine, and the Solar Sentinels one was fine. But again, I have to be honest with myself. I don't really play solo games. I've said that a bunch on the channel. I was really excited to try it and was thrilled that Chip Theory sent it my way, but I don't really play solo games. And because I'm not playing it, even though it is so small, it could very easily stay on the shelf, but I'm not playing it, so I want to be diligent about the things that I get rid of, especially if I'm not playing. So this is going to go on to a nicer home where somebody might enjoy it, chucking those dice in a, you know, not completely smelly environment. Another one that was a tough call is a 4-game pack. And it is the Ludos Ancient Games of Asia. So I've talked about this on Crowdfunding Countdown a bunch. I did, again, a full review on this. We're seeing all the games that like, hey, you reviewed, and you reviewed them at like 3.5s, and then they're going. It makes sense, right? I actually quite enjoy Bugchaw. I like the production design of this. The one that I like the most is Hasumi Shogi, but the thing is, I have 2 copies of Bugchaw because I backed it at the pay what you want when they were just doing Bugchaw. So I have 2 copies of Bugchaw. Hasumi Shogi is the other one that I would be interested in holding on to, but I'm not going to hold on to it and like divide up the set. Jarmo, oh again, I'll put on we'll go here. There's 4 different games in here, right? Hasumi Shogi is kind of like chess-like, which is cool. And then Jarmo is fine, it's interesting. And then Ute sucks. I don't really like Ute. Although every time I talk about it, somebody laughs. Somebody said in the comments that they laugh because they love Ute. And I'm happy for you. I'm glad you love Ute. But I don't. It's a better version of Sorry, but it's not enough to get me into trouble. I think this is just such a beautiful production copy of the game. I'm thrilled that Lemery Games sort of sent it my way, but I think it could go to a better home. I think it could go to people who are going to pull out and travel with these games a little bit more, and who like that abstract game style a little bit more. A lot of these games, it comes down to personal preference on style of game, right? I find with these things, and especially my like big one that I'm going to end with, it's not that it's a bad game, it's that I don't like that particular type of game. And I've realized that in terms of my own personal preferences as I've gone through. So slightly different, but that's why we're going to get rid of the Ludos Asia collection. I would keep Hasumi Shogi because I don't want to disrupt the set. So I'm fine making that sacrifice so that people can have the full set and enjoy it. And so that's why it'll go away. Here's one I'm not upset about. Well, I'm upset that I didn't like it. This is Land versus Sea. I really wanted to like this game. Again, did a review on this. I swear there's other games that I haven't reviewed that well, maybe it is just like review greatest hits. That's a wild thing. I should go back and make sure I didn't give any of these like seal of distinctions. I don't think I did. Well, I did Hoplomachus maybe. Hoplomachus is good. Age of Wonders, I gave it just for the 6-player. Ludos, I said the Hasumi Shogi was good. Yeah, I'm staying consistent. Land vs. Sea is like a 3 out of 5, I think I gave this. It tried to be the Carcassonne killer, and I don't think it succeeded. In Land versus Sea, you will have you pull out a tile and you'll connect it, and if you make a group of land, then you get points for all the land. The land player gets the points. If you make a group of sea, the sea player gets all the points. There are other modules that you can add in which make the game infinitely more interesting than the base version, but still not interesting enough to stay on my shelf. Again, as a 2-player game, I would rather play Carcassonne. Carcassone's staying on my shelf. It's still there. And I really thought Land versus Sea was going to be the killer, and I can hear you all yelling at me right now, so fine, I'll change it up. I'll change it up. There we go. So now it's perfect. Are you happy? Are you happy? Yeah, I find that this really has a runaway leader problem, and that it gets uninteresting because it's like, oh, I really want to finish this big cluster of sea or cluster of land, and it's so easy to block that. And so because of that, Land versus Sea is going on the chopping block. Let's keep it going. Over here we have what people once said. Let me fix that for you. What people once said was the Lords of Waterdeep killer, and I'm here to tell you that no, it's not. Champions of Midgard is good. It's fine. People will often conflate this with Lords of Waterdeep as a great intro to worker placement. You're going to have your main board. Again, you're just collecting things, resources, general different workers. But the trick here is that your workers are dice. And so then you have to choose to go fight monsters. You have to choose the number of warriors or workers that you're going to use against those monsters and then roll the dice and hope that it happens. Now there's a Valhalla expansion that mitigates the dice, or whatever dice die, then you can use them in another way. And so people like that a lot more. It's not really been my problem about you losing dice, right? I don't think that's a problem for me. I like the losing dice. I like the push your luck aspect of it. I just think Lords of Waterdeep is more streamlined. And so I played this recently in the last, 4 months or something with a friend who is just sort of getting into board gaming. We played Lords of Waterdeep and then we played this, and she was very underwhelmed by it. And I was very underwhelmed by it. I was like, okay, this seems like the perfect time. It's Gateway Plus. You're getting into things. We can see what you like better. You should like it. And we both were just like, meh, that was fine. And then I remembered the other times that I played it, and I was always sort of left with a feeling of that's fine. And when a game just gives you that feeling of being fine, you're not going to pull it off the shelf. And so right then and there, I was like, okay, cool, let's go into the cull pile. Like, that was the last time I'll ever play it. And I don't feel upset about that whatsoever. In fact, I feel quite happy about it. Yeah, it just really didn't hit with me. Recently they had another Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign of it where they were doing a big anniversary edition for way too much money. I just was not interested whatsoever. So I didn't think it was that good. Oh, you've seen them, so I better talk about them. Next we have Beast. Yeah, this is a sad one for me. I really wanted to like this more than I did. And I talked about it recently. I had a review of Hollow Pact, which was their second game, and I like Hollow Pact a lot more than Beast. Beast just, I expected it to click with me, and it didn't click with me. And that's for a number of reasons. This game is billed as a hidden movement game, and it really isn't. The Beast barely moves and then has to do something and reveal itself. And so there's a bit of hidden movement, there's a bit of anticipating, but it really is all in the drafting aspect of it. There's 16 cards that you're going to draft every time, and you need to find a balance of those cards and then suss out your opponents on how you're using those cards. And so the Beast is going to run around in this forest and then appear and attack and change the terrain and then disappear and run away somewhere else. And the hunters have to run around and search for the Beast. And this is one where I can really see, and Zach and I were talking about this, I can see that if you had a game group who liked it or liked the initial stages of it, and you really got into it and you played it a bunch and a bunch and a bunch, I could see how you develop a better strategy, a more common language, a more in-depth drafting, reading your opponent and having that sensation of reading your opponent right from the beginning. And I think this is a game that definitely warrants more plays than I have given it. And so I was contemplating keeping it, but at the end of the day, I know the types of people who I play with. I know that they're not going to want to play it enough to find the value in it. And so I think there is a game here. It's not a hidden movement game. It's a game about anticipation. It's a game about that card draft. If you like card draft, you like a set amount of cards, then this is interesting. But there's just like, I was found out as the beast. They knew where I was standing out in the open, pustules in the breeze, and they still couldn't kill me because they just didn't have the correct drafting cards. And so like, sure, I denied them in the draft, but because I denied them in the draft, the rest of the game was kind of like, oh, Chris is cakewalking to the finish because I picked out the best cards. And so just that the game has the possibility to do that isn't something that I am really excited about. Yeah, and so that was kind of a shame. I wanted it to be, I don't understand this quote. I mean, Alex clearly hasn't played any other hidden movement game if he thinks that this is the best hidden movement game he's ever played. Oh, again. Yeah, and I was really excited about this. I mean, but it just didn't end up hitting with me when I really hyped it up. I'm like actively dreading having to play it more to find that enjoyment of it. And when you're getting those feelings, who cares, right? Just get rid of it. And so that's what we're doing. So we're getting rid of Beast. And another game that we are happily getting rid of. This is the worst game out of this grouping of games. Every other game here has some merit. Among Cultists has none. I am very disappointed with this game. I think this is a truly bad game, and I'm upset that I spent my money on it. So I backed this. I shifted the numbers, so it was my 1000th campaign, and so I backed it because I thought it looked interesting. This puts itself forward as Among Us, the game, Among Cultists, etc. And so what you get to do in Among Us, the game, is first you get to do the most convoluted, idiotic setup that's ever existed in a game. Probably not ever existed. That's a bit of hyperbole. But it's a very convoluted way of shuffling up the cards, making sure everybody has a certain number of successes and failures, making sure only one person is the traitor. There are so many better ways of doing it than how the rulebook suggests, and it makes for an infuriating experience if you're trying to follow it by the letter. Then, Among Cultists, essentially you'll have this main board that you can kind of see outlined here. And in this main board, there'll be rooms. What I thought sounded cool is that everybody has their own itinerary, and they can only follow that itinerary and do the rooms at a certain rounds in the game. And so you're watching to see if somebody doubles up on a room or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's potentially interesting. Nobody's ever going to double up on a room, because if you do, you're an idiot. Or if you do it so you win the game. It's possible in this game to immediately win it. Just immediately as the bad people. And so you go through all that awful setup, and then the bad people walk into a room with two people, or a room with one person, do a little swap, kill them, walk into another room on their second turn, and kill them. And it's very hard to stop this from happening, or you have to all learn the meta of the game again. Learning the meta of the game, which is you can't go into rooms with each other, and the only way somebody's going into a room with you means that they're bad, and that is kind of set out as the beginning of the game. And if you establish that, then there's a little bit more leeway. But even just the mechanics in it, I thought would be fun. I was really looking forward to, and they just decidedly are not. It's a social deduction game that is overly long, adds in a board that doesn't add anything else to the genre, and just sucks. Play Avalon instead. Play any other social deduction game instead. It will give you that social deduction game itch. The board does not give you any additional excitement, doesn't give you any additional strategy, doesn't give you any additional things to consider, because the choices that you have are so basic and boring that they could run themselves. I was really, if I haven't communicated that enough, I was really disappointed with this game. I expected a lot better things, and I truly think it is awful and no one should ever get it. But if you like it, let me know. I can see some potential if you like to metagame it. I just think it's overly convoluted for the social deduction aspect of it all. And that convolution doesn't make it more interesting or more exciting, just makes it longer or not. The fact that you can lose the game basically immediately on turn 2, I think is a flawed game design. Sure, then you have to teach people that that's a possibility, but also like then you have to teach people, oh, that's a possibility, and this is a possibility, and this is a possibility. And you have to sort of instruct them in all the meta rules that should be obvious or would be obvious, but a first player may not understand. And then again, you get into that same conflict of social deduction where it's like, oh, I'm just a new player, I didn't know what I was doing, or oh, I'm a bad person pretending I'm the new player not knowing what I'm doing. And in both cases, you can do that better in any other social deduction game. Among Cultists is bad. No one should ever purchase it. If you have it on your shelf, you can sell it without even trying it. Trust me. Or just don't follow, look up on Board Game Geek and don't follow the setup because it's just tedious and atrocious and nobody should ever do it. All right, 4 more. 4 more. We're going to do a double trouble combo here. You can see that this is still in shrink. This is Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is from Steamforged Games. This is one where I gave them shade in the Helldivers 5 reasons you shouldn't back, and I don't mean to keep giving them shade. Something fell through the cracks. I'm not upset about Steamforged Games, but they sent this to me, and I had to pay the import fees, and I didn't ask for this to be sent. It just showed up out of nowhere, and I had a bill. And so I said, okay, I'm not playing this. I'm not playing this until you pay me back. And they didn't. So it's gone. And I'm just done. I'm not gonna play it. The next one is this is again one where I'm torn on. I've been holding on to this for eons because this has the expansion in it as well. So it's like, this is a hefty box. I mean, it's not Elder Scrolls hefty, but it's pretty hefty. And it seems like a cool game, but it doesn't seem cool enough for me to have gotten it off the shelf. You're dragon riders. You want to be dragon lords. This is the expansion box that it's in right now. So the back is just kind of showcasing the expansion. But it is a worker placement game as you send people out and try to conquer dragons. I thought it looked cool. I really did think it looked neat. But Yuval, my neighbor and not my friend, also randomly came up with a copy of this. And so now that he has a copy and he hasn't gotten rid of it, I'm just going to get rid of it first so that his copy has to stay at his house and we can play it there. Makes no sense to have 2 copies of the same game that you haven't yet played at your houses, right? Let's just be real. This is going to go to somebody else who can figure it out and try to enjoy it. So that one's gone. Back to the sort of middling review queue. I kept this for a while after I reviewed it. This is an Age Contrived. This is engine building, kind of combo style game. It's very abstract as a concept. None of my box covers are on, right? We're just gonna have to accept it. You'll have this main map over here where you have one single person who goes in a straight line, and you have these 4 different types of tiles that essentially on your turn, the main meat of the game is this thing, where you choose actions associated with the bottom and the top, and you put those tiles out based upon those actions, or you do a little conveyor belt and you push them on a little bit further so that they can activate in different actions. You want to chain them together, putting things out on the board, making combos on here to get points. This is better than the Dice Tower thought it was. They were really harsh on it. I think it's good, I think it's fine. But fine doesn't get played. That's the problem, right? I think the component quality again on this is nice. I think it's just tough because there's nothing really exceptional about it. There's nothing that makes me want to come back to it. It was an enjoyable experience. I didn't hate my time. I didn't love my time with it either. And everything else on my shelf, I love more. That's the problem. That's the problem with middling games, as I'll call them. They'll hold up for a few plays, and then eventually they'll drop off, right? And that's what I try to do with my reviews. I try to isolate and identify what are going to be the ones that are going to stick around and what aren't. And I didn't think that an Age Contrived would stick around when I reviewed it, and it isn't going to. So it's going to go just because it's fine. Like, I could give it to Zach. I think Zach liked it a little bit more than me. But I don't think Zach would be interested in holding on to it as well. The asymmetry, the player abilities feel like they should be more fun than they are. The conveyor belt aspect doesn't really play in as much as I want. I don't know. And finally, The last game that I am getting rid of, and I really have hemmed and hawed about this for a while, especially because like I reviewed it, I backed this with my own money for the base game, is Townsfolk Tussle. I think Townsfolk Tussle has got to go, because I realized I was holding on to Townsfolk Tussle not because I liked the game, but because I like the uniqueness of the theme. And so I touched on this in my review of Townsfolk Tussle, and I've got like the upgrade pack for it. I've got the Odd Jobs expansion. I have the new evil people, the foul neighbors. You can see both of those are still in shrink because I haven't gotten it to the table since I did the expansion coverage for it. And I think, like, again, this stuff adds a lot to the game, but I've been holding on to it more based around my love and enjoyment for the art style and for the gimmick and the idea of it. And I've realized that I don't think I really enjoy boss battling games. I don't think I do. I think Townsfolk Tussle does a fun job in terms of every scenario. There are unique set pieces that you have to interact with. And so you really want to understand what those scenarios are. There's a weather cloud in the Foul Neighbors who is so funny to play through once. But then when you know the shtick, I don't know how much fun it would be to play again. A great time to play through once, though. And this is a game, too, where when I first played it, like I bought it off of Kickstarter, I got it on a group buy, and I played it at 2 players primarily and found it super hard. I just had a flash of playing this on my birthday. Yeah, but I found it super, super hard at 2 players, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that challenge and that struggle. We just got like wrecked consistently, never made it to the final boss. We usually died around the second enemy, and there's usually a wave of 4. And then for the expansion coverage, they're like, oh, you should play it with 3 players. And I played it with 3 players specifically through all the content, and it was really easy. And so the disparity between having 2 players and 3 players was significant, so much so that at 3 players, it was so easy, and then I kind of got tired of it. And it wasn't really a challenge. And then I realized that I wasn't necessarily enjoying interacting with the mechanics of the game as much I was enjoying interacting with the struggle and the hope and, whoa, I really got beat, I've got to try again. And so when you take that away, you should still, when you're playing on easy, it should still be fun, right? When I'm playing Terraforming Mars and my opponent does not know how to play the game, I'm still enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself maybe more because I'm getting all the great combos because I don't know how to hate draft, right? But with Townsfolk Tussle, I'm not enjoying myself as much. I kind of go, oh, okay, the gimmick is wearing thin. It's not really doing as much damage. Easier to take them out. It's showcasing how odd it is to roll 1 dice for your battle check and do 1 damage at a time, and like those slow things. And then especially after I did this, I played Monster Hunter, and I really enjoyed Monster Hunter. I think I enjoy Monster Hunter a lot more. I don't have Monster Hunter here, it's at a friend's house, but I'm gonna get it back eventually. And I think Monster Hunter is the boss battler that I enjoy the most, that I have played, and will stick around a lot for a lot longer, especially because now Zach made that really cool figure. But yeah, Townsfolk Tussle, she gotta go. She gotta go. So, there we go. That's the Purge. It's a pretty big purge. I'm pretty happy to get all those off my shelf, especially among cultists. Just a horrible, horrible game. Everything else, again, like everything else, I enjoyed to an extent. I wasn't actively angry at it. Yeah, this is what's leaving the collection. This is this edition of the Purge. I think it's always a great thing to purge your games. Think about, I don't know if you guys track your stats or not, but if you do, look in your stats, think about when you started tracking your stats, and then think about which games you haven't logged plays in. Because I know you played it, but you haven't logged plays in it, which means that you haven't played it in, what, 5 years? Again, I have games like that still on the shelf, which are up for the next Purge, but that I want to give a little bit more time to. I want to play them again. They have nostalgia for me, whatever purpose. Oh, yeah, I just got hit with one that I haven't played in like 8 years, but has super, super nostalgia. So it's not going anywhere anytime. But yeah, it's just good. It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder for me. It's a good reminder for you all. Check out, like, check the stats, check the data, you know? I just played, again, within that board game weekend, which I'm going to do like a little recap on. I guess it'll come out after this video if I remember. Maybe they'll get switched around. I don't know. Try to film it soon. Because it's always fun to talk about lists of games, right? I played Revive on the weekend, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't played this in what? a year? And I looked at my stats and it was like exactly a year that I played Revive. I really, really enjoy that game. I think it's awesome. It's such a great time doing it. But it took me a year to play something that I really like and really like. Again, I just hadn't gotten it to the table. I hadn't gotten the right people around. I don't know what it was. I just hadn't gotten it. And so think about the games that you love that like sometimes take 6 months or a year, take the right group to come together that you want to play with. And then think about the games that you kind of just think are okay. Those are up for a purge. Give them away. I know you have money invested in them, but you also have friends. You know, you probably find some friends. You can give them away, or you can sell them in a local store, or you can sell them at a convention, bring them by. There are ways to get them out of your house. Don't use that as an excuse because it's just taking up clutter. And it's really, you know, if you clear the space, then you can justify those other irresponsible purchases even more because now you got the space, right? So get rid of the clutter from your life. Marie Kondo that shit. And thanks for watching. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase. And I should take these off of my BGG profile. Get the number down.